So all those elements, learning each other, contributing with the content, was named by Henry Jenkins from MIT, called distributed cognition. This is something, a new form of intelligence, when all the members of the community are contributing with their knowledge, with their experience to the community of learners, and they are supporting each other. I know the opinion of many publishers and many teachers that in order to use internet-based information, we need to develop a critical thinking. So finally, there is something we can teach them. But the problem is that this distribution cognition is perfectly substituting what we call the distributed critical thinking. Because there is always someone on the web who knows better, who knows if the information is right or wrong. It's just enough to ask. So I'm not sure if this is really the last fortress we can stay in. So maybe it's time to a little bit to summarize a few things. First of all, we believe that coherent generation in terms of technology will narrow. It won't be anymore a generation. It will be a much narrow age group. They will have, they already have, but they will also have immediate access to the technology, and they will learn each other. So what we really need to accept today, that we are no longer in a leading position in education. We are very much in a chasing position. This is really something we have to learn from our learners. So this information allows us internally in our company to develop a concept we called escaping drop. So yesterday, when we saw the education process, we believed that publishers, they are represented by this blue dot in the middle, and the teachers are leaders. They were leading the community of learners, showing them the way, teaching them skills and knowledge. This was the yesterday. Today, I believe that many of you will claim that the role of a teacher should change. So the teacher should be somehow in the middle of the community of learners, helping them to learn by themselves, coaching them, showing them the way. This is, at least to some opinions, a bit too idealistic image, and we very much believe that today, quite many learners are already ahead of their teachers, and they try to be a little bit leaders in that community. And if this observation is right, I believe we have to ask ourselves how long it's going to take when they will leave us behind. So I pretty much expect in the nearest future a program to the US government, something like no teachers left behind. Okay. So what will be our role in the future? So is there any chance for us? Can we participate in the content creation community? Can we maintain, as a publishers, a middleman role between authors and the content consumers? What is the future? So first of all, in terms of content, I think if we want to be a part of the community, we have to deal with three major things. The first one is that we need to accept that publishers are not anymore a major source of content. We have to make our content believing and hoping that it will be used by learners together with any other content. The other thing is that we have to face the competition from the open and free resources. I've talked about it last year on the conference, but I believe this is still valid. Technology didn't change it yet. We still have to cope with that somehow. So we have to make our content granular, searchable, accessible, shareable, in order to at least compete with those who are posting it for free. The third thing, important thing about the content is the personalization. The content should be personalized by students. This is the major thing. We have to allow them to change it, to adopt it for their needs. The other thing is that our learning objects should be intelligent enough to adopt to individual learning styles or personal preferences of the students. We shouldn't make just one book which fits all. This is not the case anymore. We also should not rely too much on the teacher's personalization, because according to what I've said before, how can they know? How can they know the learners today? So the question is, can we maintain as a publishers a middleman role? So we take a content from authors, we just edit it and post it and sell it to the consumers. There are some indications on the market already which shows us that this might change. This is a table showing a traditional model of revenue split among the publishing industry. So we have authors, publishers, printers, distributors, retailers. But once the Amazon introduced Amazon Kindle, situation is changed. Some of the players are kicked out of the market. Those are not anymore in the game. And what we have left is just an author, publisher, and Amazon who is delivering digital books. It's not maybe a case of the education yet, but if we just reconsider again what we have said here, I think that we have to conclude that, first of all, a publishing industry should evolve. If we take a look at the digital revolution that happens in different industries, this is pretty much about the migration from the product, a content provider, to a service provider. If you take a look at the most successful gaming players, they are not anymore selling boxes, they are selling subscriptions. This is pretty much the essence of a digital revolution. So the publishing industry should somehow migrate from the content product provider to a service provider. Obviously, we can imagine, or we can see that some of those moves are already being made by publishers. They are preparing themselves to do the services to our teachers. But I think this is a very transitional period. What we should do probably is to help our learners to learn by themselves. We have to support them with the systems, with the solutions, which allow them to publish, to create content, to share it, to learn each other, to create and collaborate. This is a mission, this is a thing that we probably can do, which is very much different from what we did so far. If we get back a little bit again to this table and we will see the changes, we can easily imagine that the situation might change to that extent that we'll just have two players on the stage. There will be author, whoever is going to be. It could be a learner, it could be a teacher, it could be whoever in the community of educational community. And then we'll have a service provider, someone who is allowing them, enabling them to collaborate, to publish, to create content, to share this content. So this is something, a future, and I think that the publishing industry, especially educational publishing industry, can maintain the role, a leading role, only in case when we migrate from the publisher to a service provider. This is the essence of, in the very nearest future, what is also happening today. So, is there any hope for us as the teachers or publishers? This is so rapid changing environment. So what we can do? I think that still there are some things we can teach them. This is a nice picture of a young learner. We can still help him to do it a little bit better, especially if this is our computer. But I think that those things, the number of things and the age of the learners that they might be somehow target for us is really diminishing. At the very last sentence, I would like to say that according to all what I've said so far, you have to remember that you have to learn from younger. So my whole presentation is relevant only to those who are older than me. Thank you very much for your attention.